Hi. Hello. This is
Is
my
that how you talk?
mom's channel, but I'm here. It's not how I talk, but I didn't know how to start it.
Hi. That's always a good one.
Yeah, hi is good.
Hello,
Hi is a fun
everyone.
word.
We're having a mukbang, kind of. We're eating pizza, so welcome to it. That big purple thing right there is a fan. It's a fan because my air conditioner was out about a week ago and it was super duper hot, so I had to buy a big ass fan. But I like the white noise, so I keep it around anyway, just because. So that's why that big fan is there. We're eating today. We have a half cheese, half pepperoni pizza, which is probably gonna be yours because I'm done with meat for now. And I have the Mediterranean roast, no, Pacific veggie. That's what they call it, Pacific veggie. So that's what we have today for eating purposes. And this video is going to be fairly K-pop free, to be honest with you, because this is talking about my vacation week, which is why hair's a mess, because we're not really talking, hello, we're not really talking about K-pop. We're talking about my vacation, our vacation, because we needed to go on vacation. I needed to go on vacation, guys. Uh, I haven't been on a vacation where I was out for a week in years, literal years. So this was an opportunity for me to do something I haven't done in a long time. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you hungry. So the first leg of our vacation was going to South Dakota. And then the second leg of the vacation, which was yesterday, was going to the Ariana Grande concert.
Yeah.
Now, the first leg of the vacation, I'm not going to bore you guys with too much of it because it was mostly us being in the car. Like, just a lot of car time. I mean, the drive from Colorado Springs, where we are, to South Dakota, which we had our hotel was in a place called Lead or Lead. I'm not sure. It's spelled Lead, but that could be Lead or Lead. I didn't hear anybody ever pronounce it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But our trip to Lead, whatever, it ended up taking us with stops close to 12 hours to make the drive. So the first day of vacation literally is just us on the road from morning to night.
Yeah.
Then the next day was more driving, but at least some actual sightseeing. It was us going to the dinosaur park in Rapid City, South Dakota. Then it was us going to Keystone to ride the 1880 train. And then it was us going to Mount Rushmore, which I took pictures of. I'll put it on my Instagram later. And after that, getting lost in the backwoods of South Dakota trying to find a grocery store.
Yeah.
And lots of driving through the Black Hills National Park because a lot of the roads we got lost on happened to be in the national park. Then the last day of that trip was the way home, which we managed to do in an astonishing 8 hours. However, it was because we spent 2 hours in traffic. When we came up to South Dakota, the reason why it took so long was because we stopped a lot. We stopped in Wyoming a couple of different times. We stopped in Colorado at least once. We stopped along the way to go to the different Visitors Bureau offices and to take a couple of pictures, things like that. But on the way back, we were like focused. We had to get home by a certain time because I had my nephew with me, and the day that we came back was his custody switch day, so we needed to make sure we got him back in time. And we get outside of Denver. We're on the northern side of Colorado, around, what is it, Loveland? I don't know what the name of the city is. Anyway, northern part of Colorado, doing good on time. It's like 2:20. It says on the Google Maps, another hour and a half, 2 hours, you should be home. We hit the worst traffic I've ever been in for almost 100 miles. Like, we were in traffic, bumper to bumper, nose to nose, in Denver, the entire way through Denver, like from the first inklings of Denver all the way to the end of Denver, all the way through Castle Rock, all the way to all the way past Castle Rock, through Larkspur, until like right outside of Colorado Springs. It was a nightmare. It was the fucking worst. So because of that, we needed a day off, so we took Thursday off and didn't do anything. We didn't go much of anywhere. We didn't do anything. And Friday was the Ariana Grande concert.
Wait, no, today is Friday.
Sorry, Thursday. Thursday was the Ariana
Thursday
Grande
was
concert.
the concert.
So I'll let Stephanie talk to you a little bit about the concert because I'm gonna break into some pizza. So I'll let you talk about it since we invited your friend and it was your birthday present. So it was mostly your experience.
Hey, okay. So most of the day, well, not most of the day. Part of the day, we were just getting ready to go to the concert. Because we had to pick my friend Lily up at around 2. And so we got there about around 1:50-ish. And she was ready to go. And so part of it, we spent how long? Like 2-ish hours?
Mm-hmm.
Getting to Denver. And once we were there, my mom had to find a parking space that didn't take too long. And then we went around Denver and like the pavilion area, and we had a bus pick us up to go to different spots, and we went shopping. We went to a bookstore.
The Tattered Cover is the bookstore we went to. If you're ever in Denver and you happen to be hanging out downtown, please try going to the Tattered Cover. It is the kind of bookstore that you imagine when you're reading yaoi fan fiction, like brick walls, tall wooden shelves, a downtown, older feeling building, kind of quirky, interesting book titles, interesting covers. Like, it's not a Barnes and Nobles by any stretch of the imagination. Yes, they do have like a little cafe area, but it doesn't feel as slick and produced and like trying to push bestsellers on you as a Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble is kind of better to navigate, in my opinion.
I liked it.
Easier.
I liked it a lot. They had interesting. The way that they set it up was just more interesting. Like, they had store recommendations all throughout every single section. So if you're looking for a book on architecture, there are at least 5 different store recommendations that were like handwritten that told you about, like, if you love this author, you'll love this, or if you're looking for something on this subject, this is an acerbic, witty take on whatever. I liked that. I liked that a lot. And so I just wanted to make sure I shouted that out because I know some of the people who watch my videos are really big book readers. And I don't know how many of you will be in Denver ever, but if you happen to be downtown Denver, especially if you're visiting the 16th Street Mall, try to go to the Tattered Cover. It's a really awesome bookstore.
It still is a good experience, even if it's kind of tougher to navigate. It's still cool.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of books I haven't even seen in Barnes and Noble ever.
Oh yeah, they had such interesting covers and just everything was really fun.
Yeah. And after that, we went to Forever 21 and we saw some cute stuff there. And then we went to H&M.
Mm-hmm.
And then after we went to H&M, we went to Taco Bell.
Yes.
And the Sugar Shop.
The Sugar Shop, yes.
Oh, the candy store, I guess. And then we went back to the parking lot because my friend needed to put some of her stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went in line for the concert. And actually, waiting outside wasn't bad. It took a little less than an hour, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually expecting it to be pretty long, but it actually got really, long once we were already in the building. But one thing I did notice while we were in line were there were so many Ariana Grande lookalikes.
Yeah. There were a lot of girls who showed up in thigh-high boots, at least knee-high boots. A lot of girls showed up in oversized sweaters, even though it was freaking hot outside. So hot. But a lot of oversized sweaters, a lot of cat ears, a lot of oversized t-shirts with long sleeves.
A
lot of ponytails. There was one guy who had on the oversized sweatshirt and the knee-high boots. Like, it wasn't just girls. I didn't want it to seem like we're just picking on the ladies. Like, everybody was wearing their finest. And it was cool. One thing that I really liked that happened while we were there is we were in line and they had these rings that T-Mobile was giving out, and they were only giving it out to the first 1,300 people in line. So because we're used to K-pop concerts, we got in line fairly early because we expected there to be a big lineup, and there just really wasn't. Like, we got to the Pepsi Center around, I would say 3:30, 4 o'clock ish. There was no one in line
Yeah.
at all, and the
Yeah.
concert was set to start at 8. There was no one in line at 4 o'clock. Now, K-pop concert, if this was like a BTS, when it was,
You bet it already be.
people are there when the sun comes up, waiting in line to get into the venue. But I think the reason why that didn't happen here is because there were no GA tickets. Like,
Yeah.
all of the seating was assigned. So since everyone had assigned seating, nobody was really worried about somebody taking their spot. Whereas when you go to a K-pop concert, because so many tickets are GA, people wait in line overnight because they're like, if I don't get in line now, I'm not going to get my seat. So because we had a GA ticket, we didn't have GA tickets, we had assigned seating, and everybody had assigned seating. I guess people felt like, I don't need to really show up that early because I have assigned seating.
Yeah, my seat is my seat.
Yeah, so, pretty cool. Pretty
Even
cool.
though just we didn't want to wait outside too long because it was also hot.
Yeah, it was really, really hot. Like, when we were walking around downtown Denver, a lot of it was just trying to find stores with air conditioning
Yeah.
so that we could fuck around for 30 minutes in the AC and then get back outside into the heat and the hot asphalt and go to the next store with some AC. But since I'm talking about merch, I'm going to go ahead and grab one of the shirts and the ring. You tell them about other experiences while I'm doing that. Sorry, guys. I know this is kind of just a mismatch,
Yeah.
whatever. But you know what? We're in the wind down. This is the rest day for us.
So, the thing about concerts now that they're starting to do for, I guess, pretty much every concert or every big concert, when there is an artist and you have to bring stuff in, like if you have a bag, a purse, you have to bring it in a clear bag because, they're worried about anybody getting in, doing something bad at the concert, especially with Ariana Grande having her Manchester attack. So we had to bring clear bags, and as we were going through the line, we saw multiple people just having to go back. We saw people in taxis having to.
This is the clear bag that I used. It says, "Call me on my shell." Ha!
But there are people having to alert their taxi drivers that they need clear bags. So it was a lot.
Yeah. But you know what? I blame this on the venues. Because this is what they do, which is really shitty. They wait until the day of the concert or like the night before to send you out a PSA telling you that you have to make sure you have clear bags, that you don't bring certain sizes, that your bags don't have loops, stuff like that. When I checked my email this morning, I saw where they had emailed me the night before the concert to tell me about this clear bag policy. Now, I bought my tickets in December. That's a long time ago because initially the concert was supposed to be back in April. I have since probably forgotten about anything having to do with this concert because I was planning back then. But if they had told me back then and maybe, a week before the concert, hey, FYI, you need to have clear bag, that would have been really helpful. Telling people the night before, especially if people bought these tickets so long ago, they're not even thinking about that. Okay. Okay, so I couldn't really read that comment very well because I'm way back here and my phone is way over there. If you go to, when I went to BTS in Fort Worth, the seats that we had, anything like P2 and up, even P1 for the most part, those were all assigned. But they also had GA tickets. The GA tickets were the floor. So if you got on the floor, there was no assigned seating for the floor. And so when we went to the Fort Worth concert, people were living in tents outside of the facility because they wanted to be the first in line for GA so they could run in and get as close to the stage as possible. Now, I don't know if it was different for this last tour that they had because they didn't come to Fort Worth this time. They went to New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles when they came through the United States the last time. And since none of those cities are near me and I don't know anybody in those cities for the most part, I wasn't going to try to make the effort to go. But yeah, that when we went to see BTS, it was one of those deals where there were people outside. We got there at what, 1:30, 2 o'clock to go see BTS.
Yeah.
There were lines wrapped around the building, around virtually the entire building.
When did the concert start?
The concert started at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, but there were lines around the building already in the afternoon. People had been there since the dawn.
Yeah.
So, hello. So, yeah. It was very different for Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
But we were talking about merch, and I mentioned a ring, so I'm going to show it to you now. Yeah. See, I rolled into Fort Worth at the 20th minutes to the start. Thank God for assigned seats. Absolutely. If it wasn't for assigned seats. So this is the ring that we got at the concert, and you can see it's flashing. After the concert was over, I guess they unlocked something in the ring that made it motion sensitive. So when you move, it lights up. But throughout the concert, like right up until the concert started, this ring did nothing. You could wave it around, do whatever you wanted to do. This ring did nothing. Once the concert started, the first song that she played that the rings lit up for was Seven Rings.
Yeah.
And then
of the ring.
yeah, because it's rings. And then certain songs she would play, she would have the ring light up, and it would light up different colors. So it's pink right now, and pink is like its permanent color. But a lot of the time, the color would be green or orange or blue, depending on what the song was. But I really like the rings. They were my favorite part of the merchandising for this concert, because other than like the face masks and the t-shirts, and the hats, that was the only merchandising they had. So it was really cool that they had these. And also, like I said, if you were the first 1,300 in line, you got yours for free. If you didn't get yours for free in line and you got inside the venue, you had to pay $20 to get one of these. And from the looks of the crowd, I don't think many people bought it. It wasn't like going to K-pop where everybody's got a freaking light stick. Nah, not at all. So Ariana has a ring light stick. Okay, so I've heard people talk about the fact that like, oh, Ariana Grande, she must have copied having a light stick from K-pop. But Ariana apparently has been doing light up stuff the whole time. Like her previous concert tour, she had light up cat ears. So it's a thing that she does. It's a thing. The only thing that I don't like about this is that, again, it's motion detector, so I don't know when the battery on this is going to go out. And you can't control the colors now that the concert is over. It only does the pink. It doesn't do any of the other colors it did during the course of the concert. And I don't believe that you can go to her next tour and use this and have it sync up. So that's the only thing that's kind of a bummer about this. Whereas like your K-pop light stick, you can utilize all of its functions outside of the concert, which makes it fun to have. But I digress. All right, so we're in the venue. I'll let you talk some more.
And we buy the merch, we wait, and we actually got a little lost looking for our seats, because here's the thing. Here's how they put it. So there are 3 floors of the Pepsi Center. We were on the 3rd floor, so we had to go around to see 302, which was our seating. So we get to the 3rd floor, get to 302, and they have stairs that lead up to 302. But the thing is, it was very confusing because there were different sections. Like, one side were like 2 sections, because there were stairs leading up to one section, other stairs leading up to another. So we got really confused. But once we were able to find our seats, right as we were finding our seats, the lights turned off and this opening act called Social House started playing.
Yeah.
And they weren't bad, We bopped to it for a little bit, and then nothing happened. We waited for another about 15-30 minutes listening to the songs that they were playing, and then out of the blue, I didn't know who was going to come on. We all thought it was going to be Ariana, and we're like, oh, well, this is earlier than we thought. Out came Normani from Fifth Harmony.
Right.
And at first I was like, wait, is that? Because I didn't see her face super clearly, so I was like, who is...
When she first comes out, all you see is a body. Like, literally. when we got into the venue, well, I actually had to cuss somebody out prior to us finding our seats.
Yeah. Because the water didn't come with lids.
Okay, so we're in the place. I'm thirsty. We've been waiting outside in the sun to get into this building. So I decided to buy some water. Ariana Grande has a policy on her tour that you can't bring a water bottle into the theater.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if she's afraid people are going to hurl the bottles at folks. I don't know what the issue is, but that's fine. They instead take your water and pour it into a cup. The first issue I had was that they poured my bottle of water into a cup, but there was still water left in the bottle, and he was gonna throw it away. I'm like, no, give it to me. I'll drink it right now, because I paid $7 fucking for this water. I'll go ahead and drink all my water. Then I asked for a lid, because the cup they gave me, no kidding, had a mouth that big. Like, it was a huge opening at the top of this cup, and it was about yay tall, because it was like it was a liter-sized cup.
Yeah.
So I say, can I have a lid? He says, go over there, because they have like a stand set up with straws and lids and condiments and things like that. Cool, no problem. I go over there. The lids they have there are too small. So I go up to the front and I ask, hey, can I get a lid for my cup? Because this lid is too small. He tells me, oh yeah, we know. They don't have any lids for that. Now, the aisles that you go in to get to your seat, people have to literally stand up for you to walk across them because the aisles are so tight. So imagine walking through with a fucking liter cup. Walking through with a fucking liter cup of water, trying to get to your seat and not bump into anybody. And there are literally thousands of people walking the hallways trying to find their seats. Like, it wasn't going to work. So I'm like, okay, well, since this cup doesn't have a lid, give me one of the soda cups so I can have a cup with a lid. You have to pay for the soda cup. I'm not paying for a soda cup when I already paid for the water that you insist has to be in a cup that doesn't have a fucking lid. I want a cup with a lid. Because I'm going to be walking through all these people and I don't want to spill my fucking $7 water on them. So I'm like, okay, well, cool. Let me talk to your manager. Manager comes out. This surly butch bitch, and I'm saying that with love, y'all. She looked like a fucking truck driver. So she comes out and she's like, what's the problem? The problem is you gave me a cup with no lid. Now, I don't have a problem with you not handing me the bottle if that's what Ariana Grande wants. But I want a fucking lid so I can walk through the crowd and not lose my $7 worth of water. So then she's like, well, I can't give you a cup because I can't give you a cup because we have to count them for inventory and I get docked if the count's not right. I'm like, then you need to let me speak to your supervisor. Because if you're going to get docked for giving me a cup with a fucking lid, we need to have a chat. Because I'm not giving you $6 more for a fucking cup so I can walk through this bitch with water. It's bad enough I have to pay $7 for water. And then you give me the shitty ass open bucket to walk around the venue with. But then I ask you to give me a cup so I can have a lid so I can enjoy this shitty $7 water. And then you want to trip about inventory counts. So finally she says, whatever then. Here, just take this cup. I'm like, that's all I wanted in the first place. Raggedy bitch. And so I went ahead and I poured my water into the soda cup, drunk what was left in the other cup they gave me. Here I am drinking water on the fly like a fucking homeless person on the street. And then I finally was able to lid my cup and get to my seat. But Pepsi Center, fuck you with a sick dick. Because there's no reason for this. You knew what it was. That Ariana Grande concert had been planned since... That Ariana Grande concert was supposed to happen April the 20th. This is a policy that they've had for the entire tour. The entire tour they've been telling venues, don't serve bottled water. If that's the fucking case, then your asses should have had supplies back in April to service this bitch's request. And then by the time July rolled around, you should have had more than enough supplies. But you didn't, because you don't give a fuck. And then you want to argue with me over a cup with a fucking lid because I don't want to lose my $7 worth of water. Sorry. I'll let Stephanie get on with talking about things.
I was going to say big Karen energy, but that was completely justified.
Fuck them.
Yeah, that's not even the speak to your manager type thing. That was fully justified. But yeah, that situation was gross.
Fuck them.
But about Normani, Normani, I've heard things by Normani. I knew Normani was talented. Okay, I didn't go in thinking, oh, Normani, she's the worst of the group. Like, no, Normani was pretty high on my list because I used to listen to Fifth Harmony and I used to really love them. But I knew Normani was talented. But when she came out here with the full choreographed acts, she
All
did
the
about
hair.
5-6 songs.
Her body looked like fucking gold.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm not
She
even
had on,
exaggerating.
like, sparkly, glittery, almost like chainmail. I don't know.
She had on a bodysuit, like a it's like swimsuit, you know, but it had a corset in the middle, and she had on boots that were thigh-high chaps.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that was like uncovered was like the middle of her thighs and maybe like
her butt.
Her butt. But everything else was covered in this beautiful, glittery gold. I don't know what material it was, but it was gorgeous.
Yes.
And she has on this high ponytail. The ponytail goes from up here all the way down to her ass. Yeah. Now, when she came on stage, because we had the shittiest of shitty seats, she comes out there looking like she's been dusted with gold paint, with this long ass ponytail serving body yaddy yaddy, and we're all like, "Is that what Ariana looks like?" Because like when we saw it on the screen, we're like, "Damn, we didn't know Ariana was built like that." No, it was Normani, looking like a whole meal. Like she just looked edible.
Yeah.
And she proceeds to sing her song, sounding amazing, by the way.
Yes.
Giving you choreo while she's singing.
She gave you high notes,
low notes,
sustaining high notes,
the mids.
Yes.
Then she proceeds to start singing whatever song she has out on the radio and starts putting that into Aaliyah's One in a Million.
Oh yeah.
Which is one of my favorite songs ever. So she's like singing and all of a sudden, you know, I hear like something that sounds super familiar. No one else, let me like you do. And I'm like, wait a minute. I know this song. So of course I'm hyped.
My friend didn't know that was she'd never heard that song. And
I don't think your friend knows Aaliyah.
Me and you were the only one who were like, oh hey.
Yeah, because we're black.
What?
And I'm not saying that to be I'm not saying that to be a slight to your friend, but your friend is a younger white lady, and if her parents didn't listen to Aaliyah, chances are she never got exposed to Aaliyah.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I immediately recognized One in a Million. So she sings that, then she decides to sit down to do another cover.
Yeah.
And she's doing Rihanna's Diamonds.
Oh, that was so cute.
And she's singing it with just like a piano, and her voice sounds crystal clear. Her vocals are great.
People got their lights from their phones in the air, waving them around.
Then, all of a sudden, it's more Rihanna songs. She starts doing a Rihanna medley.
Yes.
I think she did Love in a Hopeless Place, maybe.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what other song she did, but she does a Rihanna medley. And we're like, woo!
I think she did like I'm the only girl in the... No.
I think she did Only Girl in the
Yeah,
World,
I think
too.
she might have, yeah.
But she did like a slowed down version of Only Girl in the World.
Yeah.
So she does that, and we're all like, all right, cool. Even though, personally, I wanted to see her do Fifth Harmony songs.
And guess what happened next?
The lights go out, you hear a little... Lights come back on. This bitch is out here, full heels, full bodysuit, running the stage, doing every single Fifth Harmony bop. Every song that they had a video for, she sang either the chorus or a piece of the verse.
Yeah.
She sang it completely on key, did it with full choreo. Again, at one point, the bitch hit the splits in a twerk. Like, she did it all. She did it all and still sounded flawless. You know, she was like, give it to me, I'm worth it. Legs in a total split. I'm like, why is she not more famous? She's literally giving you Beyonce out here, and she's the opening act for Ariana Grande. You know, I'm not saying that Ariana Grande is not good.
She might need to have her own little concert.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, the next time Normani's in town, if I can swing a ticket, I want to go. I want to go because I want to see.
She had the house off their seats.
Everyone, especially when she started doing Fifth Harmony, everyone, give it to me, I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I mean, the crowd was up. We were so excited. So then she finishes that and does her her single, the kind of Dreamy single.
Oh, look what you made me do. Is that one?
No. It was the one. Is the one where it looks like she's falling in space? I don't know. I can't remember the name. But she finishes doing her and Khalid's Love Lives. That's her last song of her stage. She sings all of Khalid's parts, all of her parts. Yeah, Waves. There you go.
Yeah.
She sings all of Khalid's parts, all of her parts. Like, she's so good.
Yeah.
She's giving all the energy. She's dancing with the musicians. She's doing everything. And her background.
Yeah, and don't forget midway, she started like full on just dancing to other people's songs.
Yeah, and her background dancers are amazing as well. I've never seen a ballet dancing twerk team before, but that's exactly what happened. Like, they were playing like twerk songs, and they were like leg up in the air, doing a twirl, and then landing in a split, and then humping the ground with their butt because they're a ballet dancing twerk team. That's who she had as backup dancers. It was the best time. It was the best time. Like, it totally hyped me up for seeing Ariana Grande, which is why I was so disappointed by the fact that Ariana does not come out right after Normani.
Yeah, it took like 30 minutes more of waiting, and then we're like, oh, is that Ariana? But I feel like the start was a bit anticlimactic.
Yeah, like, they showed a voting ad for Ariana Grande, and then I think it was like, please don't use flash photography, and I don't know what else they did, but like, it took, I would say, probably close to 20 minutes after Normani's set for Ariana Grande to come out. Meanwhile, we're looking around the crowd because, at least I am, because I'm interested about the seating arrangements. Because while we were in line, a guy on a scooter was going up and down the line saying, I got VIP tickets for sale, I can't do anything with, who wants my VIP tickets? Scalpers are always a thing when it comes to these concerts. But in this particular concert, there was a section directly in front of the stage, like at the end of the stage, center stage. It was a row of about three rows of seats. I would say each row probably had about 40 chairs in it, so about 120 chairs.
Yeah.
When I looked down at the end of the concert, less than a third of those seats were filled.
Yeah.
And it was a real shame, because I imagine as an artist, it's got to make you feel frustrated when you go to a venue that somebody tells you is either sold out or sold close to capacity, but all of your front row seats are empty.
Well, yeah, most of them were pretty good.
Like, she had a part at the end of the concert where they were doing Thank You Next, and she came out with rainbow flags, and she went to go throw a rainbow flag into the crowd, and she was able to throw it directly at somebody because there was no one sitting in front of them. Like, the seats directly in front of Ariana were empty.
Like, someone was grabbing it, like, hey, give it to me, and they were like, clear in view.
Yeah.
So she could easily be like,
she was
okay,
able just to launch it right in their hand practically.
Yeah.
Like, that's how empty the front was. And then the VIP that was inside the stage, that area was pretty loose too.
Yeah, it was a little, everyone wanted to get something that wasn't too expensive.
Yeah, meanwhile, where we're sitting up in the nosebleed/rafters, every fucking seat is full.
Yes.
I'm sitting next to another big girl, and we are competing for arm and leg space because we are both, you know, big chicks trying to make it out here in the world. But yeah, every seat behind us, every seat in front of us, every seat to the side of us was completely full. All of the 300s were full, and I would hazard to say all of the 200s were full too. But the 100s and the floor seats, they were half empty. They were half empty. Yeah. And it sucks that happens. And I really wish that they would quit letting people buy up massive amounts of floor seats. Like, I think people should be limited to 3 floor seats. Yeah. Maybe 4. But people shouldn't be allowed to buy 30 or 40 floor seats and then try to turn around and flip them. Because at the end of the day, you end up with half empty crowds. And that's not fair. Yeah. Like, they should even give you the option, like, as the tour is going on, like when the concert starts, like if the floor seats aren't occupied by the time the headliner comes on, you should be allowed to pay a premium to take that floor seat. Mm. Because I'd have done it. If they said like for $100 a head, you can come down to the floor, I'd have done it. It would have been worth it. But yeah, it was just really sad to see all those empty seats that didn't have to be there because people are fucking scalping tickets.
We could have sat there.
I mean, honestly, if security wouldn't have stopped us, I'd have ran down there and sat there. I would have, because it would have been worth it, because Ariana Grande, she's a fucking show. So we haven't talked about her at all. So let us begin with how she starts the show.
Okay, so
Take one of your cheeses.
it's fine. Yeah. So we're kind of like, where's Ariana? It's like, because the thing started at 8 and it was like 10ish or 9.
No, 9.
9:30ish.
It was yeah, like 9:15 I think before she finally starts.
Yeah, and then so we're just like, oh, when is she coming on? Then out of the blue, when raindrops fell, and we're like, what?
Yeah.
And I needed to get my camera. And I was,
No
like,
warning, just
recording.
all of a sudden a voice.
Yeah, it's like, you couldn't at least do a little drum roll and then start singing? No, out of the blue, while people were talking. When raindrops fell, like, and it was hard, but then as soon as I could get it, I started recording. And she has got a whole team of dancers, like, right at her side. That's one thing I liked about the concert, is that her dancers, it wasn't like they were background dancers. It almost like she was, like, performing with them.
Mm-hmm. Almost like they were a dance team.
Yeah. And that was sort of, no, that wasn't the same with Normani. Normani was the one that stuck out. But, yeah, it was sort of like they were a team. And it was really cool. And her voice, when she was singing, was actually really clear.
She sounded like the CD.
Yeah, she really
She
did.
sounded just like the CD. And that was amazing to me because when we went to go see BTS, they sounded great. Don't get me wrong. They sounded really good. Namjoon, everybody's solo stage, you can hear them very clearly. But they're dancing, so people are losing breath a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like doing choreo while they're singing, and so that messes up things a little
But
bit.
then also, Ariana didn't do too many.
She did enough choreo.
Yeah, she did enough.
She did at least as much choreo as Suga did for his stage at the BTS concert. Because his stage was basically a shuffle. She did at least as much choreo as him throughout the entire concert. Like, there were only maybe about 4 songs that she sang and didn't... I would say maybe 5 songs that she sang and didn't do any dancing with.
Or she just sat somewhere.
Yeah, but every other up-tempo song,
She was
dancing while she was singing. She never was out of breath. She never skipped a note. She never lost a
She had
lyric.
a lot of vocal training, apparently.
Yeah. Like, you could tell that she does breathing exercises.
Yeah.
Because she sounded crystal clear through stadium audio from front to back.
And I mean, because when those videos we saw during the concert when she was little, she's been doing this, and I think people forget that. She's been doing this, not just acting, but music and acting for years. Like, since she was around, I'm going to guess 7. She's been doing things with theater, music. Like, she's been doing this a very, very long time. So the fact that she was able to sing and dance at the same time while not being out of breath and seeming like super happy, that's great. And also you can tell that's something she's done from years of hard work.
Mm-hmm. So, I was really pleased. Like, she really had one of the best stadium voices I've ever heard. Like, I've heard people singing face-to-face, like, in church and stuff like that have been super awesome. But, like, in terms of just being on a stadium speaker, being able to tell that she was singing live and not using a CD, she sounded amazing. Her breath control is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It really was.
So I guess we need to talk about the set and the track list.
Yeah, the sets were just okay. So it was like she had this whole disc-looking circle on the back of the stage.
She
like
had
on
half
the
of a
wall stage.
volleyball.
Yeah, half of a volleyball in the center of the stage, in the middle of the stage, that was just hung out. And then she had a side camera where, you know, if you were too far away, you could see what was happening. And also you could see what was happening on the front and center one, too. But I don't know which song it was, but the ball from the set came down and made a moon. And that was just the moon for the show.
Yeah, the moon just stayed there for the show.
Yeah.
Which, you know, I guess. But she did mostly songs from
Thank You Next.
Thank You Next and Sweetener. Actually, more songs from Sweetener than
Yeah.
Thank You Next, to
No,
be
I think
honest.
there was more songs from Thank You Next.
No, because there was like Successful and a lot of the Pharrell songs she performed.
Yeah.
Because she performed like Breathe, or Just Keep Breathing. That was on Sweetener, wasn't it?
Yeah.
and she
Oh,
performed
I guess it was.
The Light Is Coming, No Tears Left to Cry, REM, Successful. There was another song that she played that was off of Sweetener, but I forget what the name of it is.
Sweetener.
She did perform Sweetener. REM Sweetener.
Oh.
REM Sweetener, The Light Is Coming, No Tears Left to Cry, Breathe, Successful. She basically performed almost all of.
I don't think she did the song with Missy Elliott.
No, she didn't. She didn't do that song. But she performed just about every song from
Yeah.
Sweetener. And you could tell it was a Sweetener song because Pharrell did so many of the Sweetener songs. So that's why we're like, okay, that's the Sweetener song because it sounded like Pharrell. I'm nervous because that one of my memories from. Okay. But yeah, she did a lot of songs from Sweetener. She did a few more songs from Thank You Next. But those were mostly ballad moments.
Yeah.
Not really much danceable stuff, but then Thank You Next has the bigger hits. Because Thank You
Yeah.
Next has Thank You Next, Seven Rings, and Break Up With Your Girlfriend.
And I guess now that's been in the charts, NASA, NASA.
I guess so.
whatever. That was also.
So she sang those. And because of the kind of tone of the newer songs, the concert had a very dreamy feel to it.
Yeah.
Like all of the music and everything, the percussiveness and stuff, it felt very dreamy.
Yeah, you felt like you could lay back and relax with some of those.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't really spent any time with both Sweetener and Thank You Next as albums.
Yeah.
So those were low points in the concert for me because I really didn't know a lot of those B-sides.
Yeah.
And when it came to the ones that were radio songs, mostly I knew the choruses because there's so many lyrics in her songs.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of mumbled stuff and yeah. When I wake up and you wanna like it's kind of it all flows together.
Yeah.
So I mostly catch the choruses of these songs. So I wasn't really as into the concert with the newer stuff as when she did the older stuff.
Now the older stuff had us lit.
The older stuff had people practically out their seats ready to fall over.
Ready
Like
to
she
jump.
did all of Dangerous Woman. She did the entire song for Dangerous Woman.
Yeah.
She didn't do Greedy, which I wish that she would keep Greedy in her set because
She
Greedy
did.
is such a great song. Greedy! I love that song.
She did Into You.
hmm
She did Right There.
She didn't do One Last Try.
No, she
One
did
Last Time?
One Last Time.
She didn't do that one, which is surprising because that was a huge hit.
Yeah. And then she also did.
She did the song that she did with The Weeknd, Love Me Harder.
Yeah.
She did Right There,
Yeah.
which I love. And then she did my favorite song
You
ever.
Never know.
But you should have told me better now. You never know. No. I love that song.
Yeah.
That is my favorite Ariana Grande song besides Best Mistake.
Yeah.
Those are my two favorite Ariana Grande songs that she's released so far. And I was so glad that she did it. She did not do The Way, but we didn't expect her to do The Way.
Yeah. She also did Break Free.
She did Break Free,
Yeah.
which Break Free she did as a kind of an LGBT themed set. Like she did
Yeah.
rainbow flags and stuff for it. Well, that was really cool. But yeah, like her catalog is deep. Her catalog is really deep. And what did it say?
I wouldn't be surprised if she hasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why she wouldn't do The Way anymore because now that Mac Miller is dead,
It's probably hard for her to.
yeah, it would be very difficult to do the song that they did together in concert, you know? And so I don't blame her for that at all, but I was really surprised that she did Right There because that's the song she did with Big Sean, and they're not together anymore, but, you know, she still pulled through, and I had to give her that. She did that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the older songs, up out my seat, especially doing Right There. I hollered the lyrics while she was singing it. And those were the songs that had the rings light up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was mostly the older songs that the rings would light up for because she knew they were crowd favorites. So I really,
She also did Break Your Heart Right Back.
yeah. But I think that's one of the newer songs.
No, that's one of the older songs.
Okay.
I think it was on the Dangerous Woman album.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it was a really good show. She sounded amazing. Even though Ariana Grande is not a dancer per se, she kept up with her background dancers. Like they didn't do anything too hard for her. So that helped out quite a bit. But also like she had very playful moments interacting with her dancers, which was really nice.
Because I think one time she messed up a lyric and one of her background dancers was like, ha! And she was like,
Yeah, so I mean, it was cool. Like you could tell that like when the show is over, those are friends of hers, which is really nice to see, and it gave her a really cool vibe. She only had a few set pieces. She had like a pink car covered in black graffiti for 7 rings. She had like a table and chairs for what was the song she started out with?
That whole An Angel Cried song, her intro.
No. What's the one that came up with at the very beginning of the concert with the chairs?
That was the one.
No, it wasn't. That was the one she sang a cappella before they came up.
Oh, I don't know then.
Okay, well, we were both there, but we can't remember what the opening song. It wasn't.
Let me get it on my phone.
Fuck, what was the first song?
I'm listening. I'm getting it. Hold up.
Wasn't Break Up With Your Girlfriend. It wasn't Thank You Next. It wasn't 7 Rings.
God is a Woman.
God is a Woman, thank you. Shit. Okay, so the first song that she did in the concert was God is a Woman. That was the first one she did on stage, I should say that, because she sang the first song off stage.
Yeah.
She sang that off stage. And then she sang God is a Woman on stage. And that was like a table and chairs to make it look kind of like the Last Supper. You know, feeding into the whole religious iconography. So that made sense. And then the only other stage stuff that she had was the big ass moons.
Yeah.
That was really it. There wasn't anything else. Also, I have to be honest with you, I was not a fan of the half of volleyball on the back of the stage because they had a projector that was projecting images onto this half ball, but it would distort the center of the image.
Yeah, I was like, what are we looking at?
It made sense when it was a moon, and it made sense when it was supposed to be a crystal ball, but then when it was just like her face and like her Twitter feed and different things like that,
it was hard to
you couldn't read it because it was distorted. So I didn't understand why that was the choice, but it's not my show, so I don't really have shit to say about it.
And also the parts where she was like, thank you guys, parts where you could hear when she said thank you guys, but then also there are parts where she's like, you know,
yeah, she's like, hello Denver, yeah, I'm having a good time tonight, yay! Oh, thank you guys so much. I just really like to be on the tour. And, you know, this is a really important show for me because I don't get to go to it very often, and I meant to come back here again, and it was just really hard for me to make it. Are you excited? Hey! And they were like, woo! So you really couldn't understand what the hell she was saying.
Even though she was singing, she was clear as day. But.
Yeah. Also, one thing that Ariana doesn't do, which I've gotten so used to because K-pop concerts have spoiled the shit out of me, she does not talk with the audience except for her designated moments. At the very beginning of the concert, Denver, how you doing tonight? Then at the one, hi you guys, the next song's gonna be the last song. Denver, I'm so glad to be here. This is one of my favorite stops on the concert tour. 2 different moments where she talks to the crowd. Outside of that, let's get this discography going through. Come on, we got songs to finish. Come on. And that was something that was unfortunate, but also we're sitting in the rafters. So even if she was talking to the crowd, we probably wouldn't get as much of that. But yeah, I felt really bad because I'm like, you know, I'm used to artists kind of, you know, pointing out different signs and things in the audience or laughing at something or telling a story. Like when I saw Key for Shiny World 5 and he told the story about his Gucci being burned, that was funny.
My Gucci.
Yeah, and he's not even a fluent English speaker, but he's just like, you know, this is part of what we do in terms of our concerts. We do little moments of crowd engagement. There was only 2. Everything else was like, I'm out here to sing these songs, collect this check, and get the fuck up out of here.
I mean, I don't know if that was her attitude.
Well, it felt like it. It felt like she's like, I've got to get this show finished. Like she didn't half-ass her dances. She didn't half-ass her singing, but she ran through that concert. Like she did that concert as quickly
like when it
as
ended,
possible.
I'm like, it's done. That's
when it was over,
end?
it was over. Like you know how some people draw out the encore? No ma'am. No ma'am. She had the lights down just long enough to change costumes, and then she was out there, did her one song, Thank You Next, and then politely scooted the fuck up out of there.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what happened? It's actually done? She didn't say, like, good night or anything?
Yeah, like, oh, good night, I love you guys, thank you so much, I'll see you next year, guys. No, so like, that's the end of the song. That is the end of the song. The concert is over.
Yeah, end of song, lights come up, leave.
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm not saying that she doesn't care. I would never say that, because, I mean, she had a moment at a concert previous to the one we went to.
She was bawling.
Where she was bawling. So we were, like, very fortunate just to have her there to have a concert with.
She very well could have canceled it.
Oh, absolutely. But the fact that she showed up, we were like, okay, well, since she showed up, we're showing up. You know, we're going to cheer her on because she made this effort for us. And I feel like I've heard a theory, and I don't know necessarily if it's true, but it kind of makes a lot of sense.
Theory?
Yeah, okay, so there was a girl on the internet, her last name is Tonjes? Tonjes. I think her name is Megan Tonjes. I'm sorry I can't remember her name, but her last name is Tonjes, but she pronounces the J, so she doesn't pronounce it Spanish like. Anyway, she did a video talking about the whole Taylor Swift having her discography purchased by Scooter Braun. And
I didn't even know anything about that situation.
Well, I don't know much about it either, but I don't really particularly like Taylor Swift, so I don't concern myself too much about it. But one thing she was saying is that when all this happened, a lot of the artists under Scooter Braun gave commentary about like how Scooter Braun's a good person and Taylor Swift is being dramatic and all this type of stuff. Ariana Grande was the only one who didn't say anything. And this lady, Megan Tonjes, Melanie Tonjes, I don't know her name, she was saying, like, there's got to be a reason why Ariana Grande not only didn't say anything, but why she's working herself to the bone. Because even after the Manchester bombing, she still made sure she got out there and kept touring. You know, and then she released these albums back to back to back. You know, Sweetener came out, and it was only a few months later that the entire album for Thank You Next came out. It wasn't very long at all. And so the thought pattern that this lady had is that Ariana's trying to get through her contract as quickly as possible. And I don't know how the contracts are here in America. When it comes to Korea, the contracts are measured in years, not albums. In America, the contracts are measured in albums. So I want to think that maybe there is some truth to that, and she's trying to get through as many albums as possible so she can get out from underneath Scooter Braun.
Oh,
And
that's a good theory.
And the touring, I think, is because that's how she gets her money. I think that being managed under Scooter Braun, she's got so many albums that she's contracted to complete, but also she has him taking like a huge percentage in terms of management. So doing the concerts is how she makes money. Because let's say he gets 20% and she gets 80%. But let's say they have like commercials and things like that where he gets 20% of $100,000. That leaves her with $80,000. That doesn't seem like a lot of money that he's taken out, but she's got to pay taxes on the full $100,000 because the money goes to her, and out of her money she pays him. She pays taxes on the money she makes. So her going on tour consecutively like this and churning out albums the way she's doing makes me feel like she's trying to make some money moves so she can buy back her freedom.
Ooh.
And the reason I say that is because I know of at least 2 major artists that have done that before. Beyonce did that. Beyonce ran herself ragged until she didn't need her career to make money. Like Beyonce worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and worked until she could afford to take time off, have her children, work on her family, and do vanity projects. But before then, Beyonce was good for an album a year. Rihanna was the same way. When Rihanna first came out, you know, she was moderately successful. Then Umbrella came out and the success rolled in. But Rihanna had money issues. Yeah. She had like IRS issues, stuff like that. She proceeded to then put out almost 2 albums a year for close to 5 years. And she did it and did it and did it and did it until she didn't owe anybody anything anymore.
And now look at her.
And after she stopped owing anybody anything, that's when you get Fenty Beauty.
Yeah.
That's when you get her Fenty lingerie.
Savage X Fenty.
Savage X Fenty lingerie. This is when she's decided to do a haute couture collection. This is when she's been talking about furniture making. She's a multimillionaire. I don't think she's a billionaire just yet. But Rihanna worked and worked and worked and worked until she didn't owe anybody anything, and music for her could be a hobby, whereas her other ventures could be her money-making project. And I feel like Ariana Grande is headed there.
Yeah.
I really do.
You know, I like that, though.
Yeah, I think it's a smart move, because I don't think that Ariana Grande wants to be Mariah Carey. And I'm not saying that as a negative to Mariah Carey or to Whitney Houston. Back in the day, a singer's trade was their voice. And so if you had a Mariah Carey or a Whitney Houston, they only made money off of their voice.
Yeah.
They could dabble in film, they could dabble in television, but mostly the concert tours were the big money, the merchandising, the album sales. Well, people don't buy albums like they used to. So you can't really make a lot of money releasing an album. An album really is the advertisement for the tour.
Yeah.
Like, you put out the album, and if the album
People
does
just
well,
stream it.
then people want to go to your tour so that they can sing your album with you.
Yeah.
And that's the way it
basically
goes.
it.
It's basically a marketing tool. And so when Mariah Carey does an album, the lambs buy it up. But really, her album sales and her concert tours are where the money comes from. For somebody like a Rihanna, that's not where the money comes from. For somebody like a Beyonce, that's not where the money comes from anymore. Beyonce still tours fairly regularly because she likes to tour, because that is her art. And it literally is her art, because she is totally immersed in every aspect of her concert. You know, sets, costumes, concepts. But her and her husband make their money off their investments. Same thing with Rihanna. She makes her money off of Fenty and Fenty related industries.
Jay-Z's a billionaire.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Ariana going through these tours in a not necessarily robotic, but in a very industrial manner, is because she is working on trying to buy her freedom so she doesn't ever have to tour again if she doesn't want to.
Yeah.
Because it has to have been a huge emotional hurdle for her to get over the fright of being on stage knowing that people have been killed trying to see you.
Really, when she...
You know, like, that to me would be stage fright. Like, it wouldn't be about, like, I'm afraid to go out there and have people see me. It's like, I'm afraid to have people gathered in one spot because I don't want anybody to be hurt ever again.
And I'm pretty sure she thinks about that before every single concert.
I'm sure before every concert she prays and she's like, Lord, please don't let anything happen to these people. You know, and that's why I say I don't think that she doesn't care about the audience. Because if she didn't care about the audience, then she wouldn't have them make it to where there's no bottles allowed. She wouldn't make the security so stringent going into her thing. Like, there's a lot of measures that take place to go to Ariana Grande concert.
She would make people use clear bags.
Yeah, well, that's the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, the whole bottles of water, you can't have those. Like, I'm sure there's a reason. She doesn't want anybody to get hit with a bottle. You know, like, she really is concerned about her fans. She wants to make the venue as safe as possible. The opening acts that she chose, I've never heard of Social House, but their songs sounded okay.
Yeah.
And Normani is fantastic. So it's not like she picked opening acts that were cheap just to buy her some time. She thought about, like, okay, the people who listen to my music, what kind of music do they like? I think they like trap, so I'm going to have Social House. I think they like pop, I'm going to have Normani because she does it brilliantly and she's going to be entertaining.
Yeah.
I know she cares, but I also think that she's running on a clock. And that's what I felt watching this tour.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we have to consider, like, these singers, while they love what they do, this is also their job.
Right. They're not doing this for free. This is their job. A lot of these singers, if they could, they would release a song every once in a while. Hello. They would release a song like every 5 years or something. But, you know, a lot of these singers, they release albums because they need you to know that they have content for you. And they want to keep you invested in their careers. So, I mean, it's not about a lack of love. It's just that because this is the music business and not the music hobby.
Yeah.
There's so much other stuff that's grimy that goes along with it that a lot of the love gets reduced and gets kind of commoditized.
Yeah, as soon as music became a thing you could make money for.
Yeah, you got these vultures out here like ready to take 10%, charging this, that, and the other, owning your masters.
Yeah.
fucking with your royalties, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, a great example of a musician who the music industry really did her fucking dirty is JoJo.
Mm.
So I talked about Aaliyah briefly earlier. So back when Aaliyah was alive, her record label was a record label called Blackground, and it was run by her uncle, and they have all of Aaliyah's music, which is the reason why Aaliyah is really hard to find on streaming platforms
Mm-hmm.
because of the whole masters thing. Well, JoJo was signed to Blackground because she loved Aaliyah, and she's like, oh my gosh, the company that Aaliyah was with wants me to sign with them? Fuck yeah, I'm doing it. And she proceeds to release Get Out, Leave. She does some other great music with Blackground, but she only does, I think, 2 albums. And then they stop releasing music for her. They stop releasing music for her. They hardly in the studio for her. You can't hardly stream JoJo's music. Like, they basically silenced this girl. And they silenced her through really important years of her life.
Yeah.
So finally her contract with Blackground expired. Like, the time on the contract expired. And she's now been able to release her own music. But because Blackground owns the masters to her old work, the only way she was going to be able to get her music on streaming was to re-record all of her early music.
Yep.
And that's exactly what she did. She went back in the studio and she re-recorded every single song she did on Blackground so that it could be accessed by the people who are fans of her.
I'm searching that up.
And that's crazy to me that she has to go through all that because the company, the guy who owns it, is like such a shark and such a charlatan and such a fucking thief that she can't even make money off of the music she spent her childhood. Yeah, she re-recorded everything.
Oh no, what about this one?
So my daughter's looking at it on iTunes, but yeah, she re-recorded her discography just so it could be on iTunes and Spotify and other places because her company wouldn't put her stuff on streaming so that she wouldn't get any money and she could market off of that. And that's ridiculous. Yeah. So I say all that to say, I don't begrudge Ariana a single thing, but I would really like to go back to her concert once whatever's going on right now is done.
Once she breaks free.
Yeah.
Dum crash.
But yeah, once whatever's going on in the background is over, I would love to go to an Ariana Grande concert where she's just there and having fun and talking with people and just being herself, because I've seen it before. Like back when she was first promoting off of her first and second albums, she used to talk with the crowd and she used to be kind of a back and forth. So that's the reason why I say I know it's there. I just don't know when that will be.
Hashtag free Ariana.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I said I was going to go get merch so I could show it to you. I've got it here. So I showed you guys the ring from the Sweetener tour. So this is the ring, and then it says T-Mobile on it, so you can see that. And that was given to us in line. We also got t-shirts. Stephanie's t-shirt is in her bag, but she has one of the brown t-shirts that has a huge Ariana Grande picture in the middle, and then on the back it says Ariana Grande Sweetener Tour 2019 and lists all the tour dates. This is my shirt, so this is what it looks like here. You can see the picture is upside down from the Sweetener album, and then on the back it's got all of the tour dates, and then Ariana Grande Sweetener.
Which one we went to?
Well, ours is right here, which is Denver, which was the second to last show on here.
Oh, and then tomorrow she's going to Salt Lake City, Utah.
Yeah. I wonder if they reprinted these shirts, because I'm looking at this here, and you can see on the shirt, April 14th, April 21st, April 25th. Our original show was supposed to be April the 20th, so if these shirts were printed before, you would think that our tour would be here.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
No.
But
They had
anyway,
to reprint all of them.
yeah, but this is the shirt we got. And then the bag, I wanted to make sure I showed you the bag because I thought the bag was really, really cute. So the bag that they gave you with the merchandise, which I asked them for another bag just because I thought it was so cute. It's this bag. It says "Thank you next," and then on the bottom, instead of saying "Have a nice day," it says "Have a nice life." So I thought that was really cute that these were the bags that the merch came in. And then your friend bought a face mask that was
"Thank you next."
Yeah, it was like one of those K-pop stick face masks, you know, that comes behind your ear. It's made out of cloth and it says "Thank you next" in graffiti, and it was a pink mask with black graffiti on it. They also had black hats that said Ariana Grande's Sweetener Tour on them, and that was pretty much it. Yeah. So I was really, exactly, a parody of those cheap grocery bags. In fact, I have one here. It's full of stuff, but basically it's this bag, but it's done clear and cheeky. So that was really cool. But one thing that I wish that more American artists would take advantage of is the merchandise booth.
Yeah, because the merchandise compared to BTS was kind of weak.
It's kind of lame. You know, one of the things that I think was kind of sad for me personally, a lot of people looked at the merchandise booth and walked away because of the prices.
Yeah.
You know, the shirts that we got were $40, but to get them in extra larges and 2Xs, you have to add an additional $5. They were actually $45 each, which Ariana Grande, can we talk about that? Why is it that the plus size shirt has to cost more than the other shirts? That should be factored into the cost of all of the shirts. Also, why do you only go up to a 2X? I saw a lot of bigger girls at the concert who were probably easily wearing a 3 and a 4. It'd be nice for them to be able to have shirts. I saw some big guys that were at the concerts who could have worn a 3 and a 4. It'd be nice if you could make some larger sizes for us. And I don't think that we should have to pay a whole hell of a lot more for the bigger sizes. So, you know, work on that, please. But that's a personal thing. That's a personal thing. But the shirts, the cheapest shirt they had was $40. Most of the shirts were around $50. Most of the sweatshirts were around $65 to $75, not including the $5 upcharge for plus sizes. And so the only thing that was affordable, really the only thing that was affordable, was the face mask, because the face mask was $10.
And my $2 earplugs.
Yes,
which
you could buy.
I actually, first, because I was being weird, I thought that those were like earbuds, like you could plug into your phone with
I don't know why you thought she was going to be selling $2 earbuds.
I don't know
but
why
those earplugs
either.
came in handy, though. You used them.
I did use them because behind me people were screaming their ears out.
So, see, it ended up helping you after all.
Screaming my ears out, at least.
Yeah, so that $2 was worth it. But yeah.
I mean, for the Normani performance, my earbuds were all the way out, though.
Yeah. So, like, for $10, you get the face mask. For $20, you get this T-Mobile ring. And then it jumps up to $40. Whereas when we went to BTS, there was a wide range of prices. They had the $5 shopper bags. They had the $10 photo card packets. They had $20 flags and fans. And, you know, the range went from $5 all the way up to about
40, 60.
$60 to $70.
Yeah.
That was the range. So anybody theoretically probably could have got something from that experience.
If they brung around $40 or $30, they could have bought something.
And also, like, BTS does the interactive thing. Well, the way they do it is not my favorite because, like, you kind of have to have the in to know to sign up for it. But they do, like, the photo booths where you can go in and take a picture and it looks like you're taking a picture with a member of BTS. So it's like little inventive stuff like that would have been really cool for somebody like Ariana to do. Like an Ariana photo booth where, you know, maybe there's a cutout picture of her that you can stand next to and take a picture, or like a virtual thing where, like, if you stand in front of it, you pay $5 or $10 and there's a photo booth that takes a picture of the two of you and prints out a picture so it looks like you're standing with Ariana. Like that type of stuff would have been really cool to have. And so I think now, this does kind of have to do with K-pop, even though I said this chat was going to have nothing to do with K-pop. There's one of those times where, like, I would like to see a merge of the two cultures. Like, I would like to see varied advertising for an Ariana Grande concert. I would like to see more kind of interactive extra stuff at her concert rather than a get in, buy my t-shirt, go sit down type of thing going on.
Yeah.
That would be really nice. Excuse me. But then, one of the things that I like about her concert that we never see with K-pop are opening acts. I really and truly believe that K-pop concerts should have opening acts.
Like, who's that new girl solo artist that everybody likes? It starts with a C.
I don't know.
But, yeah, she could be really good for an opening act.
I don't know who you're talking about, so I guess. But, like, okay, if BTS does another world tour, it makes no sense to me why they wouldn't have TXT as their opening act. Like, that Chungha? Okay.
Oh, yeah, Chungha, yeah.
Okay.
Her.
Like, I would love to go to a BTS tour and see TXT as an opening act. Go to a Red Velvet tour and maybe see G-Idol as an opening act.
Yeah, or maybe have, like, some of the lesser-known K-pop groups be opening.
Yeah, go to, I don't know, I'm trying to think what's another group. Go to GOT7 and Stray Kids is the opening act. Like, I don't know, I don't understand.
Stray Kids is pretty big, though.
But they're on the same label. And GOT7's been around longer. So, like, I don't understand why they don't do that. I don't understand why an SM Town concert isn't happening in America. I don't understand that at all. And that is the kind of merge that I would like to see.
Eric Nam and Amber both had opening acts for theirs, but they're both had openings for theirs, but yeah, it would be cool for larger companies to take advantage of that stuff.
Yeah, well, like, Eric Nam and Amber were doing club dates. And when K-pop acts do club dates, they'll have an opening act a lot of the time because of the club setup. So, like, if you wanted to go see an AOMG concert, you're going to have Jay Park, but you're also going to have whoever's available at the time. So you're going to have Gray, maybe Simon Dominic, maybe a couple other dudes, and they're going to be there, and it's going to be a show. But when it comes to, like, these stadium venues, they are stadiums and arenas, they don't have opening acts. And I don't know why they don't. Also, because it's a merchandising opportunity too. So I go to a Shiny concert. I'm of course buying Shiny fans, Shiny t-shirts, Shiny bubblegum stickers, whatever they got there. But if they have an opening act who seems like they're
they
decent.
have Social House merch.
Yeah, like when we went to see Ariana Grande, Social House, which was the opening act, they had t-shirts there.
Even though I don't know where.
Didn't know who they were.
Normani didn't.
Normani didn't have a shirt.
It's
I don't
like,
understand
why?
that at all.
I could have bought one.
Is it because we were supposed to be surprised that she was there? I don't know, but Normani did not have merch she should have. I would have bought a Normani shirt. I certainly would have.
Started Stan Twitter for her.
Yeah, like
She was
so great.
She blew
so good.
us away.
She was one of the highlights of that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is something that would be beneficial to everybody. Yeah. So I would have liked to have seen a little bit more merchandise, a little bit varying of prices for merchandise. I would like K-pop to incorporate more opening acts. I think that would be really, really helpful. And one of the things that I liked about the show, even though to me personally it felt kind of cheap, there wasn't a lot of stage props. Like there was one glitter gun blast at the very end of the show. There was the Seven Rings car. There was the one table set up. There was the big moon. But other than that, there really wasn't a lot of set pieces.
And one thing, I mean, I guess this is not a pet peeve. It's just something I noticed, and I actually took a video of, is that when she would be up near the front row, you could see people coming in and cleaning the stage, which, I mean, of course it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But maybe they could make it a little less noticeable, even though the way they went from run backstage.
Oh, they were out
wow,
there for maybe a minute at the most.
Yeah.
Probably more like 45 seconds. They were out there sweeping up and then they were gone. Which I think the thing that probably would have helped them not stand out is the fact that the set was kind of white and they were wearing black clothes.
Stuff.
So if they had on white clothes, it probably would have melded a little bit better.
Yeah.
But no, what she used, which it was super smart, which I'd like to see K-pop acts use a lot when they come to the States, projectors.
Yeah.
Like when K-pop acts come, they usually have like their VCR set up where it shows clips and things on the big screen, and then like they'll have like a little video show thing. But when I went to the fan meet, there wasn't really any projector stuff. When they did the actual tour, there was a little bit more like LED screen stuff. But I feel like projectors are a really smart way to go for a concert setup because they tend to be a little bit more fluid looking than the LED screens.
Yeah.
And I think they offer a little bit more opportunity
Yeah.
for a concert, like to do background stuff. Because like there were times where the where the projectors looked like waves,
Yeah.
looked like water, looked like space.
During NASA, it started to look like the galaxy because
Yeah.
of NASA.
So like I was thinking this would be really cool for like a smaller group coming to the United States if they had a projector show and they could project different scenery from music videos in the back, or maybe play like different games with the projection. I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot that could be done with projection technology that would be useful in a concert setting for that. And BTS did a little bit of it, but I think I would have appreciated more variety of people doing
Use
that.
holograms if you want to. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think that's really all we have to say about our vacation. We ate all the pizza. We've had a good time. I know that I did not do a produce video for the last week, but as I explained, I've been on vacation all week. Like, I've been on vacation since last Saturday because I came and picked you up from the airport. Then we had to go shopping all of Sunday for our various trips and things. Then we were on the road on Monday, venturing around on Tuesday, back on the road on Wednesday, took a day off on not even a day off. We came back on Wednesday, got immediately back on the road to go to the concert on Thursday. So this is really the first day that we're sitting down. And that's why we're sitting here with our hair looking messed up and in our pajamas, because this is our
it's
day
a
of
lot.
relaxation.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we're back on the road because I'm flying you back to Dallas and I'll be here. So yeah, like this has been
a full week.
This has been a tough week for us, man. It's been a tough week. And so there really wasn't any time during the course of the week for me to do the produce video.
Maybe.
But Stephanie's leaving tomorrow, which means that probably Saturday night I'm going to do K-pop after dark. And then probably Monday I'll do my next produce video, which my next produce video is probably going to be just me cussing out the show, to be quite honest with you. Because I found out that my favorite got sent home. So I don't really have much to look forward to when it comes to this produce group.
Okay, for a second, you really had that Midwestern accent.
I'm just really disappointed, man. You know, Choi Soo-won, who I affectionately call Tuzi, is an extremely talented trainee. And he got just the shittiest luck when it came to Mnet and the groups he was in and the positions he took. And so they did an elimination from 31 to 20, and he was eliminated. And the guy who took his spot in his group was promoted to saved. And it just makes me feel like I don't have anybody that I'm really rooting for anymore. Like, in the beginning of the show, I was rooting for Tony, but I feel like Tony has kind of not been doing as well. Latigre. And he made it, but performance-wise, he hasn't been as enticing to watch recently.
Wait, shouldn't it be the Tigre?
Well, Latigre. Anyway. But, yeah, he was my bias. He got sent home. And because he got sent home, I'm just not as jazzed about this season as I normally would be. So I have been kind of slacking. And like I said, I'm probably going to cuss out Produce and Mnet this next week. And it'll just be what it is. But I made a promise on Twitter. Whatever Choi Soo-won comes out with now that Produce is over, I will buy 3 copies of it. Because he is extremely talented. And he deserves to be a K-pop idol. And somebody should snatch him up. And I'm talking to you, Jay Park. Jay Park, you and I have had a falling out. You don't know this because you don't care about me. But Jay Park, I don't buy your albums anymore. I'm disappointed with you. I quit following you on Instagram and on Twitter.
Wow.
Because you've become a complete 180 fuckboy. If
Oh,
you'd like
yeah.
if you'd like to redeem yourself in my
He
eyes.
went from, yeah, maybe a little bit of moment to just completely, I'd be like, hold up, wait a minute, girl, in all capital letters.
Anyway, Jay Park, I need you to do me a solid here. I need you to sign Choi Soo-won. I need you to sign him because he would be your first actual pop act. Like, you don't have a pop act on OMG. You have Hoodie, you have Gray, you have Loco, you have Simon Dominic, you have a few other people.
Mm,
You have a lot of
K&B.
people. Yeah, they're all KR&B, K hip hop
Hip-hop.
artists.
Yeah.
You need choice one. You need him, and you need him to recruit other people from Produce for you to make your super group, and they need to be your first pop group. You know what it takes to put together a pop group because you used to be in 2PM. This is your chance to really do it. I mean, could you imagine a pop group who has beats by Cha Cha Malone, beats by Gray, has rap features by Loco and Simon Dominic, or has them writing rap for them for their debut?
Oh, they kill it.
They would kill it. Like, the music itself would be amazing. And Jay's a dancer. And Jay knows dancers. He knows choreographers. He could get them the right choreography. He could get them the right sounding songs. He could make them the pop group that he knows international fans want to hear, but he also could give Korea something that they haven't had. You know, like Jay Park, for all of the things that he does that gets on my nerves, he knows trends.
You
and
could
he
be
could-
the chosen one.
And he has connections with a lot of different people in America. He
Oh,
totally
yes, he
can pull
does.
from his American creative contacts and be like, what's the next wave? Because my group is going to be the next wave.
Mhm.
I mean, if he's trying to start his mogul shit, start it here. Because not only would a pop group that was totally crafted by an R&B hip hop label work, i.e. Ab 6, not only would a pop group from a hip hop label work really well, but Jay knows what to do in that pop space, and other people don't. Like, really and truly, Brand New Music has lucked out with how good they've done with Ab 6, but Brand New Music is not a pop label. They never have been. And so they've had their ups and downs with this. But Jay has been a part of JYP. So he knows a pop label when he sees one. He knows what pop means. He knows how it feels. And I think that he could just really do something different. And I think this is his opportunity. This boy's not signed. You could sign him. You could craft a group around him. He can do any style. He can do any dance. And just make this thing happen. So that's my plea. I'm sure Jay won't hear me because, like I said, we've had a falling out. But I just really think this is the thing for him. I think if anyone could do it, he's the one to do it. He is the one to make something that you haven't seen that is totally comparable with everything. It's like, honestly, he could do a pop group. He could make a rap group. Like, there's so many things that he could do if he wanted to just lay back on his own career and be the mogul. And I think that he's got the taste for it. Like, that's the thing. As much as Jay gets on my nerves for his personality, I can't knock his hustle and I can't knock his taste. He has immaculate taste when it comes to the people he chooses to sign and the people that he chooses to collaborate with. And that's the reason why I say, if you'll do this for me, I will be your best friend again. We will restore our relationship. So anyway, that's the end of this.
Have a good group, not committal. Because like, get it from the Lizzo song, and it was putting it to the situation.
It's time for us to get off the live stream.
He
We've
could
eaten all the
have
pizza.
a good group,
Okay.
and they could be good. Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you joining us for our mukbang / Ariana Grande concert / vacation we talk. It's been a lot of fun. I'm sorry I didn't read the comments, but my phone is too far away from me to read even with my glasses, so I couldn't see a lot of things. But thank you again, and we will talk with you later. Bye!
Bye.